I am so excited to be here for my first December daily video, guys. I am so proud of myself for starting this and getting it going in the first week of December. Sometimes it takes me like 10 days to even get started, or I have foundation pages and then I never pick it up. I know that my 2024 is not done yet, but we're just going to move on for now. We'll come back to 2024 here soon. I feel like if I start getting going on in this, then I'll kind of get like my mojo going a little bit and we'll go back to 2024. I think I only have about 10 days left in 2024, so we're working through it. All right, so you know I'm a digital scrapbooker. So I have the complete digital kit. I seen somebody do their like welcome page with this prompt page from this, the wreath with the, you know, tan background is a prompt page. So I pulled that into Silhouette and traced the inside of that wreath and cut that out, mirrored it, and then used one of the pattern papers. I love that poinsettia pattern paper to back the back of this. Is it perfect? No. Is it perfect? Is it its fault for me not perfect? No. My Silhouette just did not like to cut that paper out where I had the registration lines pretty close to the pattern paper, so I had already cut it like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, this is good enough. And then I ripped it, as you can see, but that's okay. Glue fixes everything, and honestly, it's just the back of this, so we're not gonna stress. We're not gonna stress over the little things. We're gonna get this done. So today I'm going to have this welcome page and story 1 done with you guys. And then hopefully this weekend I will get at least story 2 and 3 done. Maybe we'll see how Sunday goes. I was hoping to work a little bit on it today, but I decided to edit this video, get it up. And it's been a kind of big day. Okay, so in the main kit, I didn't realize it didn't come with this 2025 here. So I ended up getting the 3x8 paper pack digitally. So I took that from the 2025 from that. I realized it was in the stamp set, I guess. I'm not really sure. That's the only place I could find it, and I didn't really want to buy. I have the stamps physically. I didn't want to buy the digital stamps, so I don't know. Anyways, it was good enough for me. I know the 2 and the 5 are a bit cut off, but that didn't deter me pretty much. Like, again, it's a welcome page. It's not the end of the world. So I did extract that 2025 from that, turn it red, and cut it out with my Silhouette. All right, so here we are. We're going to move on to story 1, and pretty much story 1 is always pretty much about my tree. I put up my tree the first week of November, and that really just sets my pace for the rest of the season. So I used one of these 3x8 cards, I think. I don't know what exactly they're called, but with the little labels. And in Photoshop, I just chose, like, I selected the inside of them and clipped them to photos here. The only thing that I'm like a little regretting is not doing a 10x8 album, but I do not have shelves that hold 10x8 albums, and that's pretty much the only thing stopping me, because I am loving the sewing of the transparencies and everything to fill the 10x8 album this year. So it's making me a bit sad, but again, I just don't have shelves in my house that hold the 10x8 albums. Like, the one that I have is sitting like sideways and not in with all of my rest of my albums, and it just makes me sad. But we pulled out the sewing machine. I'm so excited. Guys, do not judge me on my sewing abilities. I literally just sew paper, pretty much, even though I would like to get into a little bit more, but sewing paper. And I just have like a little brother machine, like from when I was like 12. And yeah, I like the imperfectness of it, honestly. But yeah, please don't judge me on my sewing skills. All right, I cut all of those pieces out on my Silhouette, as you can see there. So I'm just pushing everything back together. Again, I reiterate this. Once I get to my table with digital scrapbooking, honestly, it goes pretty quickly. I just chose a picture of my bulbs. Unfortunately, my editing and my printing turned my bulbs blue a little bit. My bulbs are green and red. I wasn't going to go reprint this though. One tip though I always have for digital printers is when you go to print out elements in Silhouette and you want them a little bit thicker or a little bit more, have a little bit more thickness to them, copy the outline and just cut it out of regular plain paper. So as you can see, I have several elements here that I'm going to double up. This is a trick that we use in card making to add dimension to our albums, but not too much or add dimension to our cards, but not too much dimension. And it really works. So I have that Make Mary, and I just cut it out twice. You can do it 2 and 3 times. I usually am a 3-time cutter, but I just did 2 this time. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the pom-pom trim. I love adding pom-pom trim to the edges. I am going to struggle a bit with this one. My pom-pom doesn't have much of a trim on the edge of it, so I haven't found the exact best way to do that. I probably should watch somebody else do this and just get better ideas from them. I do use liquid glue. I think I've done it before where I've used double-sided, but then I feel like my needle gets clogged up when I go to sew it. So I was trying to use liquid glue, and I don't think this was the best. But I will struggle with this a little bit, but it ends up coming out pretty good, except for my sewing. You're gonna see, like, there was one part that obviously I must have twisted the paper and got a little off. But again, imperfections are what make this handmade. These are handmade, guys. There is the picture of my tree that will show through to through the wreath, the first part of it. I kind of did something like this last year, I believe. I actually think it was a wreath too. That's okay. I'm not gonna worry about years looking the same and all that kind of stuff. We're getting this done. That's the main part of it. We're gonna get this done, and we're gonna get some of it done during December. I can imagine that I will definitely be doing a lot of this in January, but honestly, last season was different because I was pretty sick. This season is even more different as I have an 18-year-old now and a 13-year-old now, and life is just not full of little crafts and baking cookies with them and doing all the they still humor me pretty good. I can go do things, but like my son went with me to a craft fair today. I should have taken a picture. But yeah, they still humor me, but not quite as much as what, life is not quite as busy as it was. It's busy because I work now, whereas before I used to, just own my own business. So my life is full a little bit more outside, but yeah, we're just getting used to that phase of life. All right, we're going to bring it back in the sewing machine. I did go back. So the first stitch was, a zigzag. This one, I do turn it back to just a straight stitch here. I am trying to show you a little bit. I'm constantly having to restring this because I forget to pull my string out long enough. But that's okay. We threaded that pretty quickly there. And then we're going to always remember to go back onto your stitch. That helps a lot with, it not. I just love when I feel like Allie just throws everything through her sewing machine and it just looks so good. Yeah, you're going to see. I'm a bit wobbly. I think I'll get better right there. That I was like, oh, that was a little rough, but that's okay. It's no big deal. We're going to cut our edges. You can leave them. Some people like to leave the rough edges. I do not. I want them cut. So I'm going to cut everything, and we're finally going to be done with that. It did feel amazing to get the sewing machine back out, though. Clean up my space a little bit, and it looks good. I'm loving how it's coming together. I am loving that I'm actually getting a story done, honestly, and it's in like the first 4 or 5 days of December, so I'm happy about that. I don't have all of my Christmas cards out, but we're going to work on that even more this weekend. So we have lots of stuff to do. If you aren't, if you don't know or don't follow that part of my channel, I am doing a lot more card making craft stuff. So definitely let me know, you know, if you're into that kind of thing. And I address all of my envelopes personally, and that's the fun of it for me. So, but it does take quite a long time. So I'm slowly but surely getting those cards out, and I send about 40 handmade cards out, all different cards out, somewhere between 40 to 60-ish. It just depends on the year and what card swaps I get into. So that takes up a lot of my time also. All right, let's get it into the album. I'm loving that first page. I love the holly berries, and I don't know, actually it's not poinsettias. It's a holly berry type thing. Let's work on the first. I decided to put my number here. As you can see, I'm stacking that label, those little label things again. Those are so cute. I'm going to probably use those in other scrapbooking places. Also obsessed with these labels. I didn't get them in my digital kit, but there's a paper that has all the labels on it. So literally I'm just taking them right off that paper. That's one good thing about the digital is like you can pretty much get all of the embellishments from the rest of the kit from like pattern papers and stuff and just make it your own. Pulling out all those embellishments because I need to use the rest of my stuff. I need to use this stuff. And I found these. I don't even know when these came out. I don't know if it was last year. They kind of look like, I know I did get the physical Paisley Press kit last year, and I think that's where those Holiday Cheer and then this next one is going to come on that I do use. I was going in between the black one and the green ones from this year. I think those were from this year. Or were they from last year? And the green is so thick, whereas the black one was pretty thin. But my tree is green and red, so I decided to stick with this. And then the red is This Is Joy. And honestly, I loved this sentiment because putting together my tree and getting my tree up is probably one of my biggest joys of the season. Once that tree goes up and the twinkle lights are on, it just makes my house feel so cozy. All right, so don't be me and like decorate your pages before you glue things and sew things together. I always go through trial and tribulations of December Daily and putting together an actual album every year, pretty much. I always forget, like, hey, let's not put together our pages before we know we're done. Don't glue things, together until we know we're done decorating it. Because this is what happens. You decide that you want to put a vellum piece down where I could have easily stitched this onto the page instead of using glue. It did end up working. I would love to stitch that number 1 down. Again, I used some red line tape, but I would have loved to run a stitch through it just to make sure it stays to the page throughout the years. But here we are. So from here on out, we're not going to glue pages together until we know we're done. I actually, for the first time, decided to use a picture of myself decorating the tree. I don't normally do that, but I really wanted to get that in there this year. I take it every year, but I don't include it. But that is pretty much going to wrap this up. I do end up embellishing this page a little bit. I knew it was just like a little bit. And I'm trying to use up product. And these little chipboards from last year, I never did get to use them, because 2024 is not done, so I might hate myself later. But I can always get the digital of this and get those back again. But B, like, it just needed a little something. And yeah, it was fun just kind of going through all of my embellishments. Yes, I know that chipboard did go down pretty crooked, but we're not going to let that bother us too much here. We're going to try and just look at me. I'm like, oh, it's not going to pull back up. But again, it's just the welcome page. It's no big deal. Move on. It's okay. And you will get into the swing of things. And this will all come together much easier in the next 3-4 stories. Like, once you get into the swing of things. I found these little bows also. I know these were from last year. I should have ordered so many more of these because I loved them. Absolutely loved them. So cute. Put that up there. And then I was like, you know, I really want a more pop of red to this. So I got some enamel dots out and put these in some of them, not all of them. I just kind of placed them around, and that is going to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for being here for day one. I'm so excited. Let me know if you've even started. It's okay if you have not. You will get it done. Just like me, even if it's in 2026, you will get it done. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.